Hello and welcome to the second episode of the Tiny Tile Project. Today we are working on our two rough draft squares, and this is giving us a chance to practice and try out our layouts before we are making them finalized. Now, the biggest step that you are going to be making today is drawing in at least 5 objects to fill both of these squares. Now, as you can see, I've already started with one, and quite often students will finish one square and they'll be like, done. And sometimes you can have these ideas and they'll come to you quickly, but sometimes your second attempt can help you figure out your layout just a little bit better. I'm also going to show you how I am going to take some of these items and just place them differently. So I started with a ghost. I really enjoy ghost stories. I think that that's fun. I love pizza. Here's my coffee cup. I have 3 kids, so these are my 3 little hearts to represent them. I enjoy playing badminton. I love dogs. We've got 3 dogs that I absolutely adore, plus a cat, so I probably should add another for her. And then this is my wedding ring. So those are the items that I chose for the first square. Now, as you can see, I started placing a couple of them just in different spacing. So I tried overlapping some items, and that's something that I think can be a really helpful way to get started on your second square practice after you've done your first. Now, I overlapped these hearts just to kind of give it a little bit of a twist. I also changed the location of some things. And what I did is I was thinking this through. I was thinking to myself, okay, well, maybe the steam from the coffee cup could turn into a little ghost. How cute. And then I was like, wow, that space looks like a pizza shape, except it's going the opposite way. Now, when you're doing your second square especially, I really want you to be thinking about kind of keeping the spacing kind of tight and nice and even throughout these things. Now, I am going to consider where I could add these next portions. So maybe I would come in and I would have like my ring on this side, since I kind of stole that spot for my coffee cup so I could have the ghost be steam. So maybe I'll come in and add the little oval, and I've got kind of these like little things coming down, and then I've got these little points and then a circle, and I'm kind of going off the edge so that I don't have to draw the whole thing. So that's something else that you can consider, and that's a really good composition technique as well. So there's my little ring. Now I'm gonna look at this and think to myself, what would fit well in here? And as I was deciding, just talking to you now, I love my dogs, but I also love my cat. So maybe I would draw a dog paw, and we've got like the 4 little toes, and then maybe I would draw a smaller one for my cat. Little bean toes. Oh, so cute. Okay, so now I've still got this space, and I've got this space and this space. So that's kind of like giving me more room than what I had kind of used up for this portion. So maybe I would come in and draw like a paintbrush right here. So I'm gonna add just like the little bristles and then the stick and then the actual brush handle. So that's kind of taking up that space. Now up here, maybe I would, since I've got some extra room, maybe I'll add in this racket too, so that I'll have like something to go with the badminton birdie. So I'm gonna add in like a little racket. That's one of my favorite things to do with my kids and my husband. We play in the backyard all the time. So then I would add in the little birdie just right here. Cute. So now you can see that I've got better spacing in this one, I think. Now you can see the difference between these two is subtle, but it's nice to be able to think it through twice. So if you have time today, I really want you to try to do those 2 versions. Now for this next step, we are adding in what I like to call the ribbons. So we're going to go through and help to break down this background space, because right now it's all one solid shape. So what I'm doing is essentially like thinking through like how I can break down the biggest areas in my background. So maybe I would start by coming through and kind of like adding a line, and I'm gonna stop, pretend like I'm going through the pizza, and then draw another line, and maybe that like continues through with like the steam. And then I'm going to double it up. So I'm going to go through and add a second portion of it. And now it kind of looks like the steam is part of that ribbon. Ooh, that's kind of fun. Like it. Okay. Now I'm going to try to break down this space in the background because it's a little bit too open, and we'll have a problem with that when we're doing our coloring portion. Now I'm going to come through and I'm going to add a ribbon, just kind of like going behind these. So I'll start my line and then stop as I reach different objects. So there's my line, and then maybe that will be going through this way. Now I'm gonna do just one more to kind of like break down this center space. So I'm gonna do just one kind of like coming through here and breaking that down this way. There we go. Now that's pretty complex and filled up, so that's what we're looking for. Now you only have to color in one. Now let's do that ribbon spacing through here. Let's just add that real quick so you can kind of see what our options are. Now I'm gonna add another ribbon just kind of like coming through here, and they can like overlap each other, and then maybe like one more through here. Ooh, okay, cool. Now our next step is to practice filling in one of these squares. Now the representation, we want to have the gray square, or the gray portion of this square, representing the color that you're going to receive, which will be the table color that you're sitting at. Now we are going to pretend like we want to have the same amount of color of the gray showing through as compared to white, as compared to black. So that's going to be our next step, is learning how to color that in. We'll do that next time. Thanks for watching.